Yeah, we're back on the SportsMax zone. We're going to talk some cricket. West Indies fans were sent into more rage as the Caribbean men comprehensively lost their opening game of the new World Test Championship cycle to India by an innings and 141 runs. Batting a second time, the Windies trailing by 271 runs, crumbled to 130 all out in just over a session, with Ravi Ashwin following up his first innings 5-wicket haul with 7 for 71. Homeboy debutant Alec Atanaz again top scored for the West Indies with 28. Earlier in the day, Yash Jaiswal fell 29 runs short of a maiden double hundred, being dismissed for 171. Virat Kohli added 76 before skipper Rohit Sharma declared on 421 for 5. Scores in the match: West Indies 150 and 130 all out. India 421 for 5 declared. The visitors now hold an unassailable 1-0 lead in the two-match series. Fazir Mohammed joins us to review the match. Fazir, severely under the weather. I hope, Faz, that it's not the West Indies that made you unwell.
No, if that was the case, I would have been ill for 35 years. So that is not the reason.
Yes.
But I am as frail as the West Indies batting lineup.
Yes.
So just a light show on Monday to produce this. But again, this is beyond embarrassing, man. This is beyond embarrassing.
Yeah, and we did say, Donald and Faz, that from time to time, the West Indies tends to perform better at home.
Yeah.
It is a sort of a haven for us to at least retain some kind of dignity. But this effort was as poor as we've ever seen it.
Yes, it's the largest margin of defeat to India in a test match in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And again, I know there's going to be a lot of talk, quite rightly, about the pitch. Interestingly, Craig Brathwaite said he didn't find the pitch on the first day to be turning a lot, which was a surprise to me. But again, at least he didn't say the pass isn't pass. He basically owned up to what went on. Whether or not West Indies can make any difference starting next Thursday in Port of Spain, I seriously doubt it.
Well, he was honest, wasn't he, Craig Brathwaite? And I appreciate that, because as we mentioned after the end of the first day, that I felt that we should have batted at least 4 sessions based on what was put up. And we did win the toss, and we did decide to bat first, which means that it was in our favour. We had 2 spinners in the starting lineup, but we didn't make use of that. And that turned out to be problematic because India were always going to be batting once on this pitch.
And the thing is, Donald, when, as you said correctly, you win the toss on your bat first, and you're all out for 150 on the afternoon of day 1, 99% of the time you're going to lose, unless you can rout the opponents for a similar score. And clearly that didn't happen, because the Indians, they're accustomed to surfaces like this. They're experienced. They're one of the best teams in the world. They've been hurt by the fact that they've lost 2 WTC finals. Ravi Ashwin has real motivation, being dropped for last month's final against Australia. And the West Indies were just inept. It's as simple as that. The West Indies were just inept, technically and temperamentally incapable of coping with what the Indian bowlers offered.
Having said that, though, you expect as a home series that there will be some advantage for the West Indies. Forget the fact that we didn't capitalise on win the toss and we didn't capitalise on batting for a day and a half. The fact that this pitch was put forward, a turning pitch, knowing fully well that West Indies struggle. In fact, West Indies have performed better on pitches with a bit more pace, where the bowlers can get into the match, and even the batsmen appreciate the pace onto the bat as well. Also, India's team, they don't have a lot of experience as far as the fast bowling department was concerned. So everything came to a head for us to underperform on this turning track. And you saw the turn that we saw today on the third day. West Indies didn't have a chance, really.
No, they didn't. And, the thing is, I fail to understand, we talked about it yesterday, what is the thought process when you're preparing a cricket pitch for a test match? And I don't believe in home advantage, by the way. I don't believe that it should be so weighted in your team's favour that it actually gives you an unfair advantage, because it can bite you back, as we found out against South Africa. You'll recall the 2021 series in St. Lucia on 2 green tops. We weren't beaten. We were demolished by these South African pacers. So, again, the question is, where do we go from here as far as the talent that we have out there? Someone like an Alec Athens, he has now come into a culture of losing. And people can get as offended as they want about it. The West Indies, for the last 28 years, have nurtured and developed a culture of losing in Test match cricket. So how do you get the motivation to come out of that? How do you find the wherewithal, either as an individual player or as a team, to come out of a comfort zone where you lose badly every Monday morning?
You know the irony about all of this, and the positive that we can probably take from this test match, is that India would have learned nothing heading into the second test. So what are your thoughts on how the West Indies can improve heading into that second test?
Well, again, you know, the feeling might be, okay, let's put a green top at Queen's Park Oval. We have yet to hear from the authorities at Queen's Park Oval. That could come to bite us as well, because Mohammad Siraj is a decent seamer. He got the wicket of Joshua De Silva today. With a bit of help, Unadkat could have had some success as well. So all this talk about let's go with a green top this time around, the fact of the matter is, and the numbers don't lie. We all know about the saying about lies, damn lies, and statistics. But the numbers don't lie when you look at the stats of our West Indies cricketers. And indeed, they talk about an exaggeration of ordinariness. That's basically what it is. So whether it is a hard, firm surface, that would help as far as the long-term development, but it's not going to make any difference against India come Thursday.
Faz, just one quick question before you go, because usually a selection panel or team management don't make huge changes after one test match, but this is a 2-test series, so maybe that approach may change. Does Gabriel play? Does Mackenzie play? Is Hope and King to be considered? And I'm not even sure about the spectator support for the game, because Trinis have been threatening a boycott because of Darren Bravo's omission.
Well, that is the biggest joke in the history of cricket in the Caribbean, because this was the same thing done in 2016, and it was against India as well. And it really is something genius to call for a boycott when you know full well no one is turning up anyway to claim victory. For anyone who has any sense of test match cricket at Queen's Park Oval, for virtually 2010 to the present time, nobody, not even a snow cone vendor, bothers to turn up for test match cricket, because fans have been turned off completely. Not about Darren Bravo or what some parochial or insular thing. They're not going to turn up in droves if Shannon Gabriel gets a game. Because, and again, Dominica, Alec Athens, you saw what is happening. We are becoming comical caricatures where the camera goes to a few people, gets them to wave, gets them to even wave an Indian flag, gets them to make fools of themselves purely for the camera. We have become a comical caricature when it comes to international test match cricket.
I hear you, Faz, but you still haven't told me if you want changes for the second test.
Let me answer that right away. Yeah, Shannon Gabriel should come in.
Yes.
I think Mackenzie should get a game.
Yes.
Because the middle order batting just isn't there. It's non-existent.
That's right.
People could say what they want. The numbers in this case don't lie. And it's not just getting out, but the way they get out.
Faz, thanks for talking to us. I hope you get well soon. And maybe Monday or Tuesday when we talk to you again, your voice has more clarity and you are a little more lifted in your spirit.
I'll send you the bill for the honey and lime. Don't expect me to be lifted.
The great Fazir Mohammed, back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.